School threats have a huge impact on many people, from the students, local law enforcement, parents, families, the list goes on. This obviously causes a huge disruption to the school day, and we want to know, how does this all add up? So that's where our WTOC Investigates anchor and reporter Hayley Boland comes in. Hayley, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. So you have this new Investigates piece that breaks down the financial impact of a school threat. So tell us where your story begins.
Yeah, well, this really rose to more prevalence following the mass shooting at Appalachian High School in Georgia last fall. That was in September.
Yeah.
We did an update then as far as what these threats look like here for our local school district. That's the Savannah-Chatham County Public School District. And just in that month, the school district was able to share with us that they had about 30 threats throughout that entire month following that Appalachian High School shooting. So whenever there's a massive event like that, more and more threats follow. We've had several agencies confirm that that is an ongoing trend. So that being said, now that we're in second semester, well into second semester, following that massive disaster at Appalachia, we really wanted to find out, how things are looking, if they're looking better, and also what the impact to the student is. Luckily, a lot of these threats turn out to be nothing other than just an empty threat, but there is still an impact left behind. So that's where this story comes in. Absolutely.
So one of the experts in your story says a school threat can result in hundreds of thousands of dollars at the taxpayer's expense. And the number goes up to $900,000. So how does he get a number so high?
Yes, so I spoke with Don Beeler of TDR Technology Solutions, and he creates an algorithm that breaks down the school district's budget per student per hour. And so every moment that a student is outside of the classroom due to a threat, his algorithm calculates what that cost is. And in this story, it does end up being nearly $900,000 just for this school year. And those are just the threats that we have access to. So that's like the 30-some from last fall. Luckily, there haven't been quite as many this semester. There's only been a handful, but still quite a large number that we're looking at. And again, this is an algorithm. This isn't a number endorsed by the school district whatsoever or anything like that. He is an independent company that does not work as a contractor for the school district, but he does look at this data and analyze it for his company and other law enforcement agencies as well.
Yeah, and so what message does, knowing the impact and the cost, what message does the Board of Education police have for those who make threats to schools or school systems?
Yeah, well, this is serious. It's all treated as a very serious crime, even though, what you might think is just a silly threat to get out of school that day, it can be very serious. And we've seen that to be true even in our viewing area. Students have been charged, even as adults, for making terroristic threats in cases like this. So there are legal consequences, whether or not you intended to actually act on those threats or not. It can be something as simple as writing on a bathroom stall. It can be a post on social media or a phone call into the school or even the 911 center. There are many ways that these threats reach our schools, but they're all treated equally. The Board of Education police say they take each threat as seriously as the next one. So, they will be investigated, and if they find someone responsible, that person will be penalized for it.
Yeah, and you think how quickly you make a social media post or make a phone call, and it gets up to hundreds of thousands of dollars in response to that. So definitely very serious. During your investigation, was there anything that surprised you, anything that stood out at all?
I think the copycatting really does surprise me. Like I said, just having 30 in the weeks following Appalachia in 1 month, I think that's terrifying. You have a very serious situation that happens at a school here within our state. And then the fact that, people try to, not necessarily follow in the footsteps of that, but, at least incite that kind of unrest. I think that can be very scary. And like I said, even if the threat turns out to be nothing, it's still scary as a student in that classroom, I feel like, or a teacher, staff member, you name it. It is having an impact on our schools, regardless of the severity of the threat.
Absolutely. And so where can people find more information on your story? When is it going to air?
So this story airs today. That's Monday during the news at 6, and it will live on our website after that, WTOC.com.
Awesome. Hayley Boland, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.